don't find a man like me no more. I'm sick of wondering where you are. Most underrated producers of all time. During the mid-90s, several hip-hop acts would come out of the South with their own sound and style of production. At this point in time, people were already familiar with that Texas sound, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Florida music scene. It was only right that more acts would come out of other parts of the South. We had acts like Dirty coming out of Alabama, but what about its neighboring state, Mississippi? We know there's a lot of rap acts with roots in Mississippi, like Nate Dogg, Afro Man, Ray Shrimmer, and more. We also can't forget about Big Crit, a proud Mississippi native and talented artist producer, a beast in his own right. But we can't talk about Mississippi hip-hop without mentioning another artist/producer who has held his own since 1995 before making a historic run in the early 2000s. Not only does this producer have an inspirational story, he has also made an incredible impact in the community with his political and humanitarian efforts. A college-educated brother who is well-spoken, from making beats in his van to producing multi-platinum singles as well as his own solo projects. There's no way we could talk about Mississippi hip-hop and not mention the great David Banner.
Sometimes you gotta be just a little bit of an asshole, you know, for people to respect you. I don't know why that is. That's not how my mother and my father raised me. But, you know, it's just part of the game.
David Banner was born in Brookhaven, Mississippi, moving to Jackson where he was raised. Upon graduating from high school, Banner attended Southern University in Baton Rouge, receiving a bachelor's in business and serving as president of the Student Government Association. Eventually, he would pursue a master's degree in education at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore before leaving the program to pursue a full-time music career, sending demo tapes to the local radio station, WJMI. While at Maryland Eastern Shore, Banner was staying in Trenton, New Jersey, sleeping on the floor of his girlfriend's mother's home. During this time, he would travel back and forth to New York to pursue music as a member of the group Crooked Letters. It just so happened one trip to New York would take all the money he had in his pocket. This would lead to David Banner being in New York, homeless, sleeping in his van while pursuing music, literally producing and recording music in his van.
I remember when I was sleeping in my van and I was homeless, you know, when I was pushing my CD. I remember the people, the artists who big now, who treated me wrong. You know, and it's funny to see the world always come back. And I want everybody to know this. Like, no matter what you say, how big you are, what color you are, what race or whatever, things always have a way of coming back to you.
He would make a point to show up at Penalty Records every day to get their music into the hands of someone who knew how to push it. Eventually, they would get signed to Penalty, dropping the Crooked Letters album, Gray Skies, before Banner would release his solo debut, Them Firewater Boys, Volume 1, on Big Face Records in 2000. His undeniable spirit, a will to never quit in the face of adversity, would lead to a lengthy career as an artist and producer, and David Banner was just getting started. The success of Crooked Letters and David Banner's solo album would lead to several opportunities opening up, with Banner being more than up to the task. We all know about his collaboration with Pimp C, Get Crunk, off the Gray Skies album, leading to a real-life friendship with Pimp. While Pimp was in prison, David Banner would stay in touch, even mentioning that he showed Pimp how to use an MPC, sending photos of the MPC to Pimp. To be continued.